For days, people in Iran have been taking to the streets. Starting in Tehran, the protests have now spread throughout the country and mark the largest protest movement in Iran in recent years since the Women, Life, Freedom protest movement in 2022. On the 4th of January in Tehran, triggered by the sudden collapse of exchange rates, traders spontaneously took to the streets to protest price increases, inflation, and the rising cost of living. "Don't be afraid. We are all in this together," they shouted, urging bystanders to join the protests. Now, people are taking to the streets daily in over 13 provinces and at least 22 cities, including not only traders, but also other segments of the population. It's not just students who have repeatedly called for demonstrations. Workers from oil refineries and factories in southern Tehran. Workers from oil refineries and factories in southern Iran, in particular, are participating in the protests through strikes, fighting against price increases, and the privatization of profits. The economic situation has long been a burden on the people of Iran. European sanctions are hitting workers particularly hard, and experts are calling it the worst economic crisis in Iranian history. Last month alone, the rial lost almost 20% of its value, plummeting to a new record low on Sunday. $1 is now worth over 1,420,000 rials. The head of the Iranian central bank subsequently resigned. What began as a protest against rising prices quickly transformed into a political protest. "We don't want an Islamic Republic. Down with the dictator," and "the mullahs must go," are shouted by people in various cities. Students at the University of Tehran chanted "Women, Life, Freedom" at a demonstration, thus showing their connection to the women's movement in the large protests following the assassination of a Kurdish woman 3 years earlier. The Iranian leadership in Tehran is responding to the protests with increasing violence. Mass protests erupted at the funeral of a protester who was shot dead by regime forces during the protests. An attack on the police headquarters in Azna, Lorasan province, also left 3 people dead and 17 injured. Furthermore, police opened fire directly on demonstrators. There have been many more incidences of violence. The human rights organization Henga reported at least 15 arrests on Thursday, and the aid organization Hawar Help reported 8 deaths since the protest began. The Iranian leadership is attempting to quell the protests and downplay them as purely economic in nature. According to media reports, the president met with representatives of trade unions and business leaders. He repeatedly emphasized his desire to engage in dialogue with the protesters and resolve their problems. At the same time, he admitted that he could do little to counter the devaluation of the rial. The leadership in Tehran is under pressure.